So what's on the
Okay.
agenda for today?
All right, so I guess we should start out by saying hello and welcome to Bandage Banter. I'm Sam,
Krystal.
and we are just gonna kind of run through some things that we've been talking about or discussing, and we're kind of gonna change things up a little bit because we may want to do like shorter episodes, so we're not blabbing for like a whole hour, and kind of break it down into episodes. And if you continue to wanting to listen, you just go right on through. So we'll be doing some different styles to kind of see what our audience likes. And I wanted to take a moment to say that we did get some feedback on our previous posts. We got some likes, we got some subscribers. I didn't even think we would really get any subscribers the first post, so I'm super excited about that. And then I noticed this morning, because we were checking in to see if there was any commentary that we could follow up on this episode, and I had a previous patient make a comment on there thanking me for thanking me for the service that I provided. And I just want to say that you are so very welcome, and it was my pleasure to do that for you. And hopefully, I'm not the best nurse that you will ever have. I hope that you continue to have that same experience with not only me, but with all the future nurses or healthcare professionals in general that you come in contact with, because that's probably one of the biggest things that breaks my heart is when I have patients back to back and you get like the patient that's like grabs you and is like, please don't leave. And you're like,
So
oh my
thankful
God.
you're back.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing to my babies while I'm not there?
Yes, it means so much when we hear feedback like what I read that person wrote about Sam. I mean, honestly, it melts our hearts. I know that everybody does respect us, but we don't get to hear it every day. And when we see something like that in writing, we frame that shit and put it on the wall. Like, we don't get rid of it. We take a picture, and that goes into our memories, and hopefully it pops up again and reminds us. And so stuff like that really means the world. And I was so elated to see something like that for my Sammy girl.
Yes, I know. So, and we decided, we kind of gave each other like a brief rundown of each other that we kind of did behind the scenes, but we spoke about who we were as nurses on our introduction, and I thought it would be a really good idea to kind of give each other a perspective from somebody else's point of view. So Krystal has wrote a intro for me, and I have wrote an intro for Krystal. So I guess we'll take
Me
Huh?
first.
I go
Me
first?
first.
Okay. Ah!
No, I'm going to
I'm
do you
nervous.
first.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous. I'm nervous.
Well, I mean, don't be.
Okay, so I'm going to try not to
So
get teary-eyed because I'm on my period and I'm an emotional hot mess. So,
there's no crying in baseball or nursing. Only in the supply room, okay? We're clearly in the bathroom. We're not in the supply room, so you cannot cry in here.
I got to step up my game and get the background. So
Miss Wilma's waiting for you to empty her bedpan and get back to her room.
Oh my God. I have to tell you about a story, and I'll have to remember it after this, about what I found one patient doing in the bathroom. Anywho.
Oh, no, actually,
Okay.
I can't wait. I have to know now.
I can't wait. Okay, so let me go through this intro that I have wrote for Krystal, and then we'll let her do the one that she wrote for me, and then we'll kind of break into some...
First.
Huh?
I'm going first.
Oh, okay. Well, you go first then.
Don't cut me. Don't cut me. I get to go first.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I'm going to see you cry first, bitch. I'm sorry.
My God.
Anywho, so obviously Sam is the face of us because she's gorgeous. But I wrote a little ditty for Sam, just so that you can get to know her from her coworkers' perspective, because as nurses we don't usually think of ourselves as anything other than like a mule that works for the hospital. But in any event, so after meeting Sam, I wrote this little ditty. So, Sam, that Georgia accent can calm any scared patient. We worked together at 2 different hospitals, but 2 very busy hospitals, both of which had a ratio of 6 to 1. And that was the norm there. Q15 vitals with 6 patients. You'd never see Sam sweat. I'm not even joking. Not even like, ugh. She would tackle every obstacle with patience. Most importantly, she would tackle it with a work smart, not hard attitude. Her organization alone is something to envy. And FYI, if you haven't seen her like report sheets and organizational things that she has, you can go ahead and grab yourself one, because this is how she gets through these kinds of shifts. Her organization alone is something to envy. I've seen Sam in situations with her patients where I'm not even sure I could handle with a fraction of the grace that she exudes. We clicked when we realized that we give everything to this profession, even if it has nothing to give us back, which unfortunately is most of the time. So join us as we move forward talking it out. Have you ever drove home in silence after a long shift? Try tuning into us. We are you, and we are striving to be the voice of the unheard nurse. The tired nurse. The nurse who is, no matter what, can find humor even in the ugliest of situations. And if you stick by Sam's sides, you will see the beauty of all it can be. Namaste.
If I probably didn't send, like, you send that to me beforehand, I probably would be bawling my eyes out right now. But I just got off of my 12-hour shift of my third night in a row, so I feel like I'm almost empatheticless at this point also.
So cute. I get it. Sometimes you got nothing left, boo.
I know. I have exuded it all. I am living proof of those last statements there. There's nothing left to give. I am physically here, and that is it.
She's trying to rip her scrub top off.
My sports bra is like digging into my skin. It's now become one with me.
Girl, I just take them off. At some point in the shift, they have come off. I'm like, forget pocket. Let them babies fly. Who cares?
Let them out of their assigned seat.
But did you die?
Meanwhile, you're fixing your patient's telemetry leads, and they're like,
you're seeing a little more than they should.
Between that and dodging them as they're going like,
listen, nobody's ever died by boob. All right, they'll be all right.
You know, that is a very good point, Krystal. That is a very good point. I need the statistical facts on this, because there has to be somebody out there that died of motorboating.
Nurses that murder by boob. I'm on it. I'll Google it.
Oh. Okay, so I love you, Krystal.
I lost the tingle. I got to chew again.
I love you so much, and I am so grateful that we crossed paths, and then that we crossed paths again, because that isn't common. So I feel like
time that it's meant to be.
Yep, I definitely feel heavily on that. So I'm super thankful for you, and I love you so much.
I love you too. Oh.
All right. So I'm going to read my intro for Krystal. And so we will just go ahead and hit the ground running. Because kind of going back on our previous episode, we talked about how Krystal, mainly her nurse profession in the beginning was in New York. So in that episode, we talked about how she was a square. And I think it was kind of really funny when she explained it to me like that from someone who was in the South. And that's how they kind of gave her personality as a square. But if you know anything about Krystal, maybe her assertiveness comes off as a square. But if I had to give her a shape, it would be a heart.
Aww.
So
cute.
Look how cute that was. I'm delusional at this point. Can you even trust me to read this?
No, I think we should take a break.
Okay, So, have you ever crossed paths with someone and that they just truly stick out to you? Whether it was someone you crossed paths in the alleyway or you locked eyes at the freaking pizza place and you're just like, I remember this person. That honestly is someone like Krystal. So, no matter the brief moment that you shared or experienced, especially regarding with Krystal, she has that lasting impression. And
No, we're recording. That's right. We're still new at this. We're fake. We're still dancing for the first time. That's all right. No, you're good.
um, when you really break that down, what I'm trying to say is how nurturing, attentive, and collected Krystal is. And I just feel like when we are taking care of patients, you can hear the way that people talk to their patients. Like you're passing by down the hallways and you can tell when Krystal is in a room. You can hear her voice. You can tell kind of how she's speaking to the patient, whether it's in a very assertive tone, in a loving tone, but it's it's all meant with love. So because she has that nurturing aspect. So a lot of times you'll find, I feel like you can go to Krystal with the concerns that you've had regarding a certain patient, whether it's their attitude or whatever, and she just walks in like the patient, to me, their point of view at that point in time is like, oh, this is the doctor. I mean, but like, but the good bedside doctor who you can still get them to listen and understand what's going on with the patient, but the assertiveness, and you pretty much get the stuff that you want done with Krystal is what I kind of really mean to say in regards to that. So Krystal has battled the front lines in bedside healthcare in the highest acuity of situations, from lack of resources to staffing to max capacities. And if anybody knows anything about New York nursing, you know on med-surg you are getting like 1 to 10 patients. They're high acuity. They're
I
it's
think eight,
very
eight, eight was the most.
okay. Well,
Eight
that's still
on
high up
on
there.
step down, girl. But yeah, it is high up there. They don't give a fuck up there.
So because of that history, Krystal can handle her own. But she also knows when and how to speak up about unsafe situations. She doesn't accept the typical manipulation from the hospital system, because we usually get that sadly these days in time. And she's able to kind of give it and dish it back to them with a smile and a witty comeback with no questions asked. And it's truly admirable, because you're sitting back and you're like, okay, now I can say something. Now I can say I don't feel safe in this situation. Whereas before, you probably would have just sat there and took it as well.
Just like
Krystal
when they
can,
wanted us to clean those rooms. Fuck
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
everybody else is like, yeah, fuck that. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Krystal, Krystal
Tell
can
me
read
more.
the, do what?
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Keep it coming. Krystal can read the room and understand the needs before lifting her stethoscope. She's the nurse you can go to for on the unit for any advice or situation, whether it's a second set of ears or eyes, or the one that you need to go to get the patient to stop disrespecting you or the staff, while maintaining professionalism and not offending others. And that kind of just comes back to the whole witty comeback thing as well. Because some people can simply not pull that off and they come across as rude, disrespectful. But then you have the person that can come in and be like, okay, now you got to shut the fuck up. We got work to do.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. My favorite line is like, I can't hear you when you talk to me like that. And they always kind of look at me, and then they shut up, and they Yeah. It's a good one to use. I can't hear you when you talk to me like that. And that's, that's just, that's Psych 101. Obviously, when someone's like at you, you can't hear them. So you're being honest and standing your ground at the same time.
It's like you're taking
So,
a step back, and then that would really make me think if I was showing out. I'd be like, I'd probably fall in love with you. I'd be like, will you marry me? How dare you be so assertive but kind?
what I meant to say, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let
goodness.
me put this in a circle for you.
No, listen, that I actually adopted that in North Carolina because, like I said, I was speaking too much like this, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let them know that I can't hear you when you're talking to me like that because all I hear is motherfucker. That's all I hear. That's what I hear.
Wait, put your elbows back up. I got some pointy elbows. Like,
Oh,
look at
look at
these
you. You
things.
got like battle scars over there.
These could cut you.
They really could. You need a little lotion too. You need
Like,
a little
if I get
Ashley
really
White
close, it
girl.
looks like a nipple.
Oh, that's yeah. You got your scrub top down there? Take your bra off already?
Oh my god. We cannot behave. Okay, wait, I got just a little bit more. Let's see if I can be
Okay.
serious,
Oh,
because this is
right.
supposed to be
There's more?
like we're crying over each other.
Oh, I
Okay.
mean, I only wrote a couple sentences about
Okay.
you. I feel so bad now.
Let's see. Okay, so long story short, Krystal is the mama nurse who shockingly already knew about the concerns before you even realized it was a concern, and she has the answer for it. She has the touch, the magic that we all need as nurses. Krystal is the magic, and she shares it not only with her patients, her coworkers, but all those who cross her path, and boy, are we all so lucky.
Ah, you are all definitely blessed. I'll tell you that.
I'm blessed to be in your presence, like
I
talking to
just,
you right now.
oh, Boo, I love you so much. We had such a good time. Oh, let me fix my makeup here. Okay.
So it's, I guess this is where we would say take two.